Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well and welcome back to the channel, okay? E.T.s film review as we consider number 64 on the AFI Top 100 network, okay? Network is different, all right? 1976, all-star cast, well received, well decorated by the Academy, 4 Academy Awards. All of these reasons, I think earn a place on the countdown, but a little more, of course, and beyond, again, beyond Peter Finch and Faye Dunaway, excuse me, and the cast and the crew and the directorial power. The spirit of this film is in satire, and satirical films that are done really well often come out really well. They come out very well, of course. They're done well, they come out well, and they're well received by the public. In this case, the AFI also received the satire quite well, deservedly so. A satire not only of the news world, okay, so we could say network is to television what Nashville is to country music, curiously, both during the 1970s. Um, but not only for its satirical value, but sort of its... It's not even midnight yet. Well, those 10 minutes of midnight. Uh, for its prophetic value, in a sense. I don't want to use that word too strongly, but there are moments at which one can see premonitions. And I think that's precisely why this film remains so relevant for today, because some of the things that we see in this film are coming to pass, especially genuinely violent television shows that deal almost exclusively on things that are negative or critical, judgmental, dark, even outright evil, has become the focus of incredibly popular television shows. And the network kind of points to that. We call this the sleepy edition of the AFI Top 100, I guess. But that's what the network is saying about American culture, especially in the 70s, that you'll take anything you like as long as it comes with a twist and a spin. Or the news is more like reality television, or the news is more like the reality TV that we see today. Somewhat predictable, you know what you're going to get, but there's always a spin. The plot, I should have said earlier, Howard Beale is told that he's going to be fired from his job that he's been at for a long, long time. It's kind of like his 2-week notice. And so he goes on TV the next day. God darn it. He goes on TV the next day and says to a live national audience that he's going to blow his brains out in 2 weeks on the news. Almost immediately they take him off the air, but of course the ratings are through the roof. And so the television network debates, really for the whole film, almost until the end, to keep him on the air or not, what to do with him, to keep him from taking his life, or do they let him do it on the air? What kind of ratings would they get? And that's what sort of deepens into the Howard Beale show, or whatever exactly they call it. I can't remember. Is it on here somewhere? It's something like that, and it gets into all kinds of super the Howard Beale show. Strange, weird stuff. But that's sort of the crux of his show. It's a focus on what's negative in the world, what's bad, how the world's going to hell. And of course, I'm sure you're familiar with his very, very famous tagline, which is probably the most popular quote, most famous quote from the film: "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore." And all the people hanging out of their windows screaming it as he tells people to do so, on the air. So there's that kind of interesting cult element to it as well. And now, of course, just thinking curiously how many of our sayings and taglines we get from TV. I'm thinking immediately of like That's What She Said, you know, from The Office, which I saw fourth graders at our Catholic school saying that. I heard them saying that. I was like, where did they? And they have no idea, but they just said it because they heard it on TV. You know. Anyway, don't know if I should have said that. It's true, and I think it's telling of this film, and it leads actually quite beautifully into. Excuse me, let me take a drink of water. Some yawning water. Let's get through this fast because I'm gonna fall asleep. In Philippians, the letter to the Philippians that Paul and Timothy wrote, they talk a lot about the ultimate goal of faith and being like Jesus, you know. And so at the very end, almost the last verse of the letter, Philippians 4, chapter 8, they go through a little litany, a little list of things that we should focus on. In Network, of course, the criticism and the satire is of a culture, a nation that loves, to put it in the words of the Don Henley song, dirty laundry. Or is that the Eagles song? In any case, the Eagles covered it later on, but and that's what Don Henley says in the song. He wrote it, you know, that people love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry. I'll include a link to that song in the description below. And there's something so true about that we, I don't think anyone would genuinely say they'd like to see the destruction or death, of course, you know, but we're fascinated with the news because of all the things that are happening around the world. And even though they're like those reports of the good things and the sweet and fluffy stuff, there's also all of this darkness that's in our daily news that we just can't get away from. Not that we love it necessarily, but I think that in a way we kind of do. We love that it's out there and not in here, or whatever it is, you know, the dirty laundry. And of course that leads into gossip and how popular gossip media has become. Shows like TMZ and all of that, you know, gossiping, voyeurism, sneaking around, snooping. We love to be on the inside inside scoop with these things. Anyway, in light of that, you know, and to a very to a much more simple generation, a much more simple culture, Paul and Timothy said this, very simple. Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. The things you have learned and have received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. It's amazing to know, perhaps in your own life, or someone you know, they just don't seem to be at peace, and you look at their life and they've surrounded themselves with, you know, the culture of death, with dirty laundry, you know. And what Paul and Timothy are simply saying here, and they're admonishing us, focus on what's good. Rejoice. That's what Paul said just a couple verses beforehand. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Network is a film that points at the streak in all of us that likes the darkness. And Paul, recognizing that, is trying to turn us away from that, saying, look to the light, look to Christ, look to whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is praiseworthy. Think about that. Dwell on those things. And God will be with us, you know, because we're not focused on the gloom and doom, you know. Even though those things exist, this is, of course, another way of what Jesus said, you know, that we are to be in the world, but not of the world, part of that dichotomy, you know, that we deal with every day. And so, you know, that's my impression of this film. It's one of the things that spoke to me. I guess there's more to say, but you know what? We're under 10 minutes. I want to stop there. That's number 64, Network. Number 63, Cabaret. Wow. Coming up very soon. Thank you, as always, for watching. Like and subscribe if you care to. Truly, thank you. Thank you. And as always, friends, hope that you are doing well under 10 minutes like a boss.